Good evening and welcome to the Channel Studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. The US Secretary of State Marco Rubio has spoken of a defining moment and a new era as he travels to Europe for a major speech at the Munich Security Conference. Rubio will lead the US delegation at the first major global event since President Donald Trump threatened Danish sovereignty with a pledge to annex Greenland.
Good morning and welcome. Herzlich willkommen zum Transatlantic.
The war in Ukraine, tensions with China and a potential nuclear deal between Iran and the US are also on the agenda as the security conference gets underway.
I hope that's not the last bit of applause that I get, but...
At last year's conference, US Vice President J.D. Vance attacked Europe, including the UK, for policies on free speech and immigration. His speech triggered a year of unprecedented transatlantic tension.
The world is changing very fast right in front of us. The old world is gone, frankly, the world I grew up in, and we live in a new era in geopolitics, and it's going to require all of us to sort of re-examine what that looks like and what our role is going to be. And we've had many of these conversations in private with many of our allies. They are our allies, and we need to continue to have those conversations.
US President Donald Trump has reversed a key Obama-era scientific ruling that underpins all federal actions on curbing planet-warming gases. The so-called 2009 endangerment finding concluded that a range of greenhouse gases were a threat to public health. It's become the legal bedrock of federal efforts to rein in emissions, especially in vehicles. The White House called the reversal the largest deregulation in American history. Former President Barack Obama, who infrequently comments on the policies of sitting presidents, responded on X, saying without it we'll be less safe, less healthy and less able to fight climate change. Also, the fossil fuel industry can make even more money.
We are officially terminating the so-called endangerment finding, a disastrous Obama-era policy that severely damaged the American auto industry and massively drove up prices for America.
The Bangladesh Nationalist Party has won a majority of more than two-thirds of seats in parliament in a landmark election. This is a huge change of fortunes for the BNP leader, Tariq Rahman, who spent 17 years in self-imposed exile in London. Voters also endorsed sweeping constitutional reform in a referendum held alongside the general election. These are the first polls since student-led protests in 2024 ousted the Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, who denies ordering a crackdown in which 1,400 people were killed.
We outline the work we must do together.
South African President Cyril Ramaphosa says he will deploy the army to help police fight criminal gangs and illegal mining in the country. Gang violence is a major problem in South Africa, which has one of the world's highest murder rates. Last month, the police minister said the country's police were not yet able to defeat the deadly criminal gangs, in a stark admission that underscored the scale of the country's crime crisis. President William Ruto has announced Kenya's border with Somalia will reopen in April, almost 15 years after it shut because of attacks by Islamist militant group Al-Shabaab. Based in Somalia, the group has masterminded a series of deadly assaults in Kenya, including one on a shopping centre in the capital Nairobi, killing 67 people, and one at a university in Garissa 2 years later, killing 148. Ruto said the intention to reopen 2 crossings follows years of security assessments, adding that there will be a heavy deployment of security forces to ensure the move does not compromise safety. Japanese authorities say they have seized a Chinese fishing vessel that tried to flee when ordered to stop for an inspection in a move that may further fuel tensions with Beijing. The boat was in Japan's exclusive economic zone off Nagasaki Prefecture in the southwest when it was intercepted and its captain arrested on Thursday. The seizure is the first time since 2022 that the agency has seized a Chinese fishing boat. China has yet to react to Japan's statement. There were 11 people on board, including the captain, who is a 47-year-old Chinese national.
3, 2, 1, ignition, and liftoff.
And NASA and SpaceX are launching 4 astronauts into space to take them to the International Space Station. NASA's Jessica Meir and Jack Hathaway, the European Space Agency's Sophie Adnot, and Roscosmos' Andrei Fedyaev are all aboard the spacecraft.
It's traveling faster than the speed of sound.
The crew will spend 8 months on the ISS and will replace a team that evacuated the station last month due to a medical emergency. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the Channel Studios in Lagos.